My name is Willie Gillispie, and this is Franklin Boulevard Media. And I'm originally from Gastonia, North Carolina, Dallas, North Carolina area. I presently live in Salisbury, North Carolina. I was born in July 1948, July 29th, 1948. Good childhood. Me and my brother and all the people in the neighborhood were just like family. Started out playing baseball real young, shooting marbles, doing other things that kids do, but started out watching my uncles and his friends play baseball, and that's how I got interested in baseball. My first organized baseball team really was with my uncle and his friends. I was young, like 14 years old. At first, I just traveled with them, and then I just learned everything I could learn from them, and then eventually they let me start playing. I played outfield at first. They kind of used me as a runner, at first because I was real speedy, and so at first that's about all I did at first was run bases, and then I got to the point where they started letting me play. At first I went to Lincoln High School in Bessemer City, North Carolina, because they bused all the kids from around the surrounding areas like Stanley, Lowell, and places like Shady Rest near Lincoln Line. We all was bused until Bessemer City High School. I left Bessemer City High School because they didn't have football, and I wanted to play football. But I have just lifelong friends from Bessemer City. I went to Highland High School for 2 years, and eventually, when integration started, I left Highland my senior year to go to Dallas High School. I still consider myself a Ram, though. I definitely cried when I left Highland. My grandmother was kind of declining in health, and she didn't come out and say, well, you need to come go to school over here where you can walk, but I knew it was a burden on her. So in Dallas, I could just walk to school, So I played baseball, football, and basketball. My senior year was the only year I played basketball. I wasn't that great in basketball. I could shoot the basketball, but I couldn't keep my hands off people. So little too aggressive for that, So, and then I left Highland and went to Shaw University, where I was on the football team and a baseball team. During the summer months, I got better, and I played in Shenandoah Valley. It was a summer college league. I played there and played with a lot of fine baseball players, the Shenandoah Valley League, I don't know if it still exists, but it was a collegiate baseball league where somebody had to recommend that you be selected to play in this league. So it was one of the best collegiate leagues of that era. I left Shaw and went into the military. Yeah, I was actually drafted in the Army, but after I went over to have my physical, and I found out that they were just picking people at random to go to Vietnam. So I came back home, me and one of my buddies, and we joined the Air Force. I worked in emergency services, so we picked up a lot of soldiers from Vietnam and took care of them. They came home to the base nearest to their home, so we took care of them. People from Vietnam, the Philippines, Japan, all those kind of people came home near their homes when they were injured. And we would go to the flight lines and pick them up, because we worked out of emergency services, When I was in the military, they allowed me to play in this independent pro league, which is called the Eastern Illinois League, where I played in that league 4 years, won a batting title 3 out of 4 years, and I came home after I was discharged, and I still wanted to play baseball, In fact, when I got home, and I had several scouts to come by my house, people that seen me play in the Illinois League. They had wanted me to play some ball overseas, like Cuba, Puerto Rico, places like that. But I had, I always say that I was the one that really stopped my baseball career as far as going that further in pro baseball, because I'd been in the military for 4 years, and I'd been away from my kids, and I just didn't want to leave, So I started coaching the kids, and I always say, you teach them and they'll never forget you, So that's where all that started. But I had plenty of help. My kids grew up in the Myrtle School area, and baseball is different now. It's a lot of what they call travel baseball now. The kids I coached were neighborhood kids, and I could have them every day of the week if I wanted to, and basically year round. I coached them in football at the Police Athletic League, and then I kind of formed girls boys club, the Gaston Little Tigers, and we had basketball and baseball, and we had cheerleaders. So we were kind of a little class act, But I had plenty of help, mostly from women. They ladies in my neighborhood. Greg Kefcott's mama, his aunt. We had Miss Johnny Ryan, the Gordons, the Barnetts, and just a host of the Adams girls, Reverend Adams, David Adams' daughters. They were magnificent people. I mean, we kept those kids doing something year round, I organized a semi-pro team here when I first got out of the military, and it was called the Gaston Turks. And I had some of the older fellows. It was predominantly black team. We had a couple white fellas on the team, but we had, in fact, I remember Ron Lee Phillips. Do you know Ron Lee Phillips? He played on that team. But that team grew, and I eventually, after I coached my kids in Little League, and I kept them all the way up until I had them playing semi-pro baseball when they were 16 years old. And so we eventually changed that name to the Gaston Tigers, because the little club I formed with the kids was called the Gaston Little Tigers. So as they moved up, we changed the name. The original Gaston Turk team became the Gaston Tigers. So it was fun, man. It was fun, and the kids kept me young because they were a lot of fun. And like I said, all the kids in the murder school area and surrounding areas, they were fantastic kids. They always thought that they were given. In those days, it was, like I said, it was a community thing. You know, I heard Abel, Ryan, and Travis talking one day about how they used to slip down through the woods and over on the other side of town a little bit. But I looked. I didn't tell them, but I knew where they were at. Everybody around in the neighborhood knew where they were at. If they went 2 blocks, somebody called, and somebody was watching them. So it's a different era now, and but my main thing is I enjoyed it, and I did everything I did, and everything that the people that helped me did was for the kids. And that's why, people always asking me, why, how do you feel about not being in the Gaston County Hall of Fame? Well, at my age, I'm not losing any sleep over it, because I done what I done for the kids. And if my Hall of Fame would be for me, and I'm going to try to do it before I leave here. I want to get all the young men and women now that I ever had anything to do with in one building, so we can just have a big reunion. Not only the kids, but the ladies and the fellows that helped us in the neighborhood. But there's a lot of people that you can point a finger at and say should be in the Hall of Fame, Gaston Hall of Fame. You got guys like George Potlow. Those guys worked every day like I did and spent more time with these kids, influenced these kids, Fred Davis, and they, you got people like John Rudolph that came out and just gave their time and money to things. And we had people like Mr. Bradshaw and son at the sports center down there. They virtually sometimes gave us stuff, and we still probably owe them something right now to this day. But those people it was a community thing, And like I said, the thing for me is God, family, and friends. That's what motivates me, And now that I found out that I had a sister that I've never met, it almost brought me to tears because of the fact that I never got to meet her, So, but now I'm going to meet my extended family, and we're just going to have a big celebration, I love kids. I always have, and that's the reason why we put so much time and energy into trying to, and we have successful kids, They've gone on to do great things. I enjoyed the time I played baseball. I'm glad that God gave me the ability to play, but I enjoy teaching more than anything. Our organization is called Carolina Tigers. It's called Keep Playing Incorporated. It is run by my son Travis. He's the president. He has my name down as the chairman he lets me get on the bandwagon, you know. But if you, if any kids that want to sign up for our program, it's a nonprofit organization, and by the way, we do accept donations. We're based out of Concord, Harrisburg area, and we would love to have as many kids as possible. And as I said in the past, I would like for parents to understand that it's not how many games your kids play. It's what they learn to improve and what they're taught. I haven't heard of any Major League Baseball team signing anybody at 10 and 11 years old. So it's not how many games they play. And I heard somebody told me one time about, well, the reason why I move my kid around is for more exposure. At 10, 11, 12, 13, you don't need any exposure. You need to learn how to play the game correctly and good sportsmanship.